On this episode, I'm gonna tell you guys what I really think about Polish Christmas. Boom! Boom! Cześć ludzie! What's up people? Hola, JT here. Welcome to another episode. Christmas is literally right around the corner. Today, I'm shooting this on the 19th. So the streets are full. The shopping centers are packed. You cannot visit any store because people are just going crazy. They're buying gifts for, of course, Mikołaj, but not only that. Oh, I hope no one is listening to this with kids. No, Mikołaj is coming. He's coming from the North Pole. People are buying all the ingredients for the traditional and very important Polish feast. And even though I've only been living in Poland officially for 3 years, like having a proper residence here, I've spent a lot of Christmases in Poland. So I have a lot of experience with what is it like. Not only the type of food that you're given, but the festivities and how people behave and the things that you should do, the things that you should not do. But this video is not a video to tell you what you should and should not do during Polish Christmas. No. This is a video about my opinion in regards to Polish Christmas. What do I think? Do I like it? Don't I like it? What do I love? What don't I love? In particularly when we compare it to Dominican Christmas and the things that we experience there, which many of them are very, very different. The first thing I'm going to talk about is probably the most obvious, okay? And I promise you, it's going to be one of the few obvious things. And it's the food. In Polish Christmas Eve, in that menu, because there are different menus, but the menu on Christmas Eve, the 24th of December, there's no meat being offered at the table. You have a table from here to Gibraltar full of food, but there's no meat. Now, I am vegetarian, so that doesn't affect me whatsoever, but I did spend many Christmases here when I was still eating meat. And the very first time was very surprising. In Dominican Republic, on Christmas Eve, the menu includes different cuts of meat. And I could not imagine telling a Dominican that he cannot eat his meat during Christmas Eve. It would be weird as fuck. Now, I'm not gonna talk about the menu per se. I'm gonna talk about the quantity of food that is consumed during Christmas Eve. And I know what you're gonna tell me. JT, stop inventing stuff. Everywhere in the world, when there's Christmas Eve, people overeat. Bros, this is different. Here in Poland, I've seen the babci, I've seen the grandmas eat quantities that I am just baffled because I don't know where the food is going. It's like people have a setting in the brain for special holidays, because kind of like the same thing happens during Vigilia. All of a sudden, people kind of like unlock a new chamber in their stomach and they just eat and eat and eat. And they just keep eating. And they take breaks and they talk and then come back again and they eat some more. And then they take another break, which leads me to the second thing, the breaks. Let's talk about the breaks. In Poland, people do this thing during Christmas where they eat a lot, but they just sit around the table like they are the disciples of Jesus, and they're just talking and talking. And at this point, I'm full, I want to stretch my belly, I want to go to the living room, which no one is really preventing me to, so I want to say that. It's not that people are telling me, JT, you cannot leave this table. But, you know, you want to be with people. You want to be with your family members. You want to be with the loved ones. So I am constantly inviting people to go to the living room. Let's go to the living room. We're gonna have some fun there. But they just stay sitting at the table. And compared to, let's say, Latino cultures, we are a lot more relaxed in the way we just convey ourselves. So it's very common that you're gonna have your aunt or your uncle, and then after he eats, it's gonna be like, what's up? Or you can just go, oh my God, I cannot anymore. People just stay at the table, sitting upright like this, very composed, which again also leads me to the third thing that I'm gonna say. Formality. Formality. It's Christmas, I understand it. We want to dress up nicely. We want to bring out the nice sweater. By the way, this is my Christmas sweater that I bought precisely for Christmas Eve. I also want to look nice. And in Dominican Republic, people do dress up. You have a nice shirt, you put on some nice pants, nice shoes. But in Poland, people do dress up also, sometimes very well. People look nice. Girls look beautiful with their makeup. And then people are wearing those stupid capce inside the house from literally the ankles up. They look like $1,000,000 ready to go to any party, and they're wearing capce. If you're Polish, obviously this is not news to you. This is actually normal. And not only normal, but you probably will tell me,
what, are you gonna walk in the house with the dirty shoes? The ones that you're using to go out on a walk?
Some people are gonna tell me that they have nice capce. They are still freaking captured. Guys, obviously, I don't want to sound like the Grinch. I am not here hating and being, the party pooper. It's just that you put so much effort looking good, and then you are wearing slippers. I've seen people at Christmas parties wearing like those plastic slippers that say Adidas on top. And I just mentioned something important. I said the walk.
The ones that you're using to go out on a walk?
Let's talk about the walk. One thing that I actually really like, I really do enjoy this. It took me a couple of Christmases, but now I've grown really fond of it. And that is that after the big meal, where people eat a lot of food, drink something good, and then they sit around the table to talk for a little bit longer, then they all decide, kind of like collectively, to stand up and go for a walk. They take their jackets, they put them on, doesn't matter if it's freezing out, they get ready and then go on this nice walk to put down the food that they just ate. Let me tell you guys, it's extremely refreshing. You talk to your family members and you just admire nature. If it's snowing, even nicer. It's all white. It has this beautiful fantasy story vibe to it. And to me, a person that grew up in the Dominican Republic with no snow, no cold, like our Christmases are not associated in any way with weather, with temperature. I still remember the very first time that my wife spent Christmas in Dominican Republic. She was telling me like, oh yeah, it's so nice, beautiful and all, but to me it doesn't feel like Christmas because it was 28 degrees outside and there was no snow, or at least the trees were not leafless. And those are little elements that play a big role in how we interact with the world. So that's why, for example, to me, things like spending Christmas nicely dressed up, but in socks or with slippers, it just feels wrong. It feels weird. But sometimes we find things that, even though they're new to us, they somehow feel like home. Like going on the walk feels like something that I should have been doing all along. Other things don't feel so much like home, like the temperature inside the houses. So the temperature inside the houses, this is the closest thing to torture. Dear Lord, the Poles love having a house that is burning inside during winter. And in Christmas, you cannot even wear your nice clothes comfortably. Look, I bought this sweater and I'm excited, right? It's my nice sweater, I bought it. All I'm thinking is how I'm gonna be burning during Christmas Eve because the heating is gonna be too freaking high. And people just tell me, no, it's nice and warm, it's cozy. You sit down, you have a drink, and you have some nice food, and you feel like, cozied up in your house when the inside temperature of the place is freaking 25 degrees. 25 degrees inside of a house when you're wearing sweaters and clothes. But listen, I understand to some degree that usually you spend Christmas with the grandmas and they're older, so their joints hurt and they don't like feeling cold. So it's nice to have the house at a temperature that is not gonna make them feel uncomfortable. I get it. But not 25 freaking degrees inside of the house. It's burning. It's freaking burning. It's burning. Jesus Maria. Another thing that I have observed during Polish Christmas that was surprising to me, especially compared to Dominican Republic, was the lack of musicality. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to try to generalize. Maybe you guys come from a family that is very musical. Maybe you're from a certain region in Poland that is super well known for being music-centric. But I have noticed that there's not a lot of music being played out loud, and this is something quite apparent during Christmas Eve, because you would imagine that someone would turn up a radio and all the Christmas music just banging out the speakers, and somebody would be singing some carols or something, but that's really not the case. Yes, from time to time people will turn on radio or turn on the TV to see something there, but it's very low volume. In Latin America you would have just a bunch of music, very loud, while people are dancing and food in one hand and the feet are moving along to the rhythm. It's such a big part of our culture. Here, it's not the case. Now listen, that is not entirely negative. Believe me, I've spent my fair share of Christmases in Dominican Republic where I just want to escape because the music is too loud. You cannot hear the other person you're trying to talk to, and it just becomes too much. But from time to time, in some sort of festive mood, some music a little bit louder than normal, I can deal with that. My last opinion about Polish Christmas is how family-oriented it is. Poles put a lot of emphasis, a lot of effort in the sanctity of family. They value the interpersonal relationships that they have with their grandparents, parents, and kids and cousins. They make a real effort to make sure that family is treated like the most important thing. Now, friends are also important, but in special holidays, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, second day of Christmas. Yeah, did you know that there's a second day of Christmas here in Poland? In Dominican Republic, 24th is Christmas Eve. The next day is, of course, Christmas Day. The next day, you're just back to work. Here in Poland, it's a holiday. But on these special days, they really dedicate time to their family members. Very seldom they will get together with friends. It's an occasion reserved for the closest people in your life. At some point, some of them are not going to be around. Some of my beautiful grandparents, Carolina's grandparents, but they were my grandparents too. And I remember how many Christmas Eves we spent together, going over their houses and having to eat all their food, even though I just ate food at Mama Ella's house. And still you would do it gladly because they would live just to see you enjoy the things that they're giving you. And those relationships and how you nurture them and how Polish people value them, it's second to none. And with that, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want you to enjoy the time that you're spending with your loved ones, those sitting at the table with you. And I truly hope that you find happiness wherever it is, that you find health, and that you find time to dedicate to those that you love. WESOŁYCH ŚWIOT. Boom! That's all, guys. That's the end of this episode. I hope you liked it. Hey, I hope I didn't come off like too much of a Grinch, complaining that I don't like the heat in the house and it's too hot and the capture and my outfit is ruined. There are many things that I truly love and appreciate about Polish Christmas. And I also really do miss many things about my culture, okay? A little bit of music, a little bit of bachata. Come on, Dominican food during Christmas is delicious. Anyways, guys, WESOŁYCH ŚWIOT. I'll see you guys soon. Maybe this won't be the last video of the year, so I'm not gonna say Happy New Year. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.